Hi, my name is Marissa. I play in the band Screaming Females, and this is our tour van. We call it the van.
I'm Jarrett. I also play in Screaming Females. This van never got a name, but our first van was the big red pig, and I feel like it came to a untimely demise, and maybe that's why we haven't named vans since then.
Oh, I never thought of that. It's sad. We were on tour with Generacion Suicida from LA, and the Mimes, they're from Ohio. And this is our last week of tour. We went across the whole United States of America.
And a little bit of Canada as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we went to Canada for a couple hours. Oh, because we've been in here for so much time today. And now you're like, get back in it. I'm done.
So we all drive, except we never let roadies or people tagging along with us drive, because on one of our first tours, a roadie crashed into somebody else's car in a parking lot, and that was awkward. So since then, only band members drive. We all drive about equally, and I'd say the only rules are that the driver has final say on music, but it's not really an argument. It's more like you get tired of DJing after a while, so it's nice to switch it off. I got some CDs here. We can like get these CDs going. Some good picks. There we go. Okay.
It's hard sometimes to pick music in the van because when you're going 80 miles an hour, it's very, very loud. So there are some bands I feel like just get like completely canceled out by the sound of the van. Like I like this band called Hoax. I don't know where they're from or anything about them, but it's just like a guy screaming. And I can't listen to them in here because I think the sound of the van running is the same frequency as that band. So then it just sounds like there's silence.
And I also like to listen to a lot of experimental like synth music, and that doesn't sound like anything in the band either. So that really doesn't get a lot of play. But here's some CDs we picked up along the way. This one...
Do you remember CDs?
Yeah, love a CD. We still have a CD player. Next van probably won't have one, and I don't know what we're going to do. But we went to Tony and Kiwi from Generacion Suicida, who we're on tour with. We went to their record store in LA, and I picked up some CDs. Dave Brubeck, Take 5, one of the most famous jazz recordings ever. Odd Time Signatures, West Coast cool jazz. I thought it was appropriate being in LA at their store. Fiona Apple, just a classic album with too many words in the title. This is a record that our friend put out recently, and I played drums on it. So I brought that along. I keep listening to it. I don't know if that's egotistical or not. Here's an old classic. Came from Marissa's CD collection. Kathleen Hanna, Julie Ruin. And then also from Tony's store, Eka Mouse, classic dance hall. And it's kind of been like a reggae dance hall influenced tour generally. I don't really know why, but it just keeps coming up.
We have a lot of like comfort things, self-care items, because we're old. So,
we got these tweezers, try to keep looking good on tour,
yeah,
you know?
You gotta have at least one set of tweezers. And then I got this today. I've always wanted a beer helmet, even though I haven't really been drinking beer lately. So I'm trying to find the perfect beverage to put in it, and it had a mustache on it, so I was thinking of like a slogan that everyone agrees with, like universally, is that New Jersey rules. So I put that over the mustache, and then I broke every single part of it while I was fussing with it all day.
Who would have thought that a $7 beer
It was
helmet
$7, that's why I got it.
from a gas station in Wisconsin would not be top quality?
They're usually pretty expensive. Well, we all sit in different places at any given time, and sometimes I'll ask the longer-legged people if they would like to sit behind me, because when I drive or sit here, I can pull the seat all the way up. If I want to take a really quality nap, that's the seat. That's the one right there.
The seat that Marissa's in right now is actually the worst one because there's no cup holder. So whoever's in that seat is constantly looking for like what to do with their coffee or their waters or whatever, and the answer is you just gotta hold on to it for 3 or 4 hours until we stop again.
Drink it. You gotta drink it. Chug it.
Yeah.
This is like my 15th humidifier because I leave them at venues all across America. You can get them at CVS. People are always like, wow, where did you get that? The answer is literally anywhere. It blows hot steam into my mouth. It keeps the pipes oiled up.
Back here, working off of what Marissa was saying earlier, we have more comfort items, pillows. And then other than that, we usually just end up collecting weird stuff, like one shoe. What's that doing there?
I don't know whose shoe that is.
Why is there one shoe? I don't know. There's a hat clipped here that has a light built into it that you can turn on, and then
That's Dawn's hat.
Yeah, and that's Dawn's hat.
That
She's
was a
not on
gift.
this tour at all.
Yeah.
It's just her hat,
That was
so we
just
keep
a hat
it there.
from-
And then we have two magnets. One from South Carolina that we're gonna give as a gift to a friend of ours.
This is from a very special place. This is the Cabbage Patch Kids General Hospital. It's called Babyland, and it's in Cleveland, Georgia. And we had the wonderful luck to get to go there and see where Cabbage Patch Kids are born. And I got a magnet and like 8,000 postcards. And I cried because it was so weird, and I loved it. We got a big ass lock on the back so no one steals our shit.
My dad used to do sound for like network television shows as I was growing up, and he worked in New York City. And they used to carry around, this is the days before a lot of like small digital equipment, so they used to carry around massive gear, and it was all worth a ton of money. So when we first started playing, he was insistent that we get a cage built in the van, which is what all of the people he worked with would do. So he knew the company was able to do it. And we've never been robbed in San Francisco or Detroit, which is, as a touring band, a nearly impossible feat over 18 years. And I attribute it to the cages that we've always built into our vans. So installing the cage in the van has the very practical purpose of not our stuff not being stolen. But it also really allows a lot of vertical storage space, and we pack a lot of stuff in here. We sell, thankfully, quite a bit of merch, and to fit all of our personal stuff, gear, merch, all of that in here, we really need that vertical space. And without the cage, that would end up being like pretty dangerous, and also just inconvenient. It's like every time you hit the brakes a little bit too hard, guitars or records would just go flying into the back seat. Which we've done when we've had to use other vans before, so we know what that's like. But yeah, it really helps with the vertical space, and we use up pretty much all of this stacked things right to the ceiling.
Mike is definitely the go-to guy for rearranging things, especially as like merch starts to become scarce over the course of a tour. There's less stuff back here, and then he'll kind of rearrange stuff because if you hit on the brakes really hard, stuff will go flying forward, and then you could break a bunch of your records or whatever. So, yeah, he's got that down to a science. I really just let him do it because
yeah, he's pretty good at it. He's also the one that came up with the idea of just installing the shelf in the van, which we have had for a while. And yeah, just like I said, it carried some more of that vertical space, but it also has good record storage where they're not all just like sitting on top of each other. So it's not like the bottom tier of 5 stacks of records is getting smushed. But yeah, like Marissa was saying, it's as we get more or less merch throughout a tour, say we like go pick up a bunch of t-shirts or something, Mike will magically make space back here where it just seemed like it was full a week before, and then we had like 700
incredible.
Shirts in, and somehow he might find space for it all.
It's also really good for kidnapping people because you can just put them in the cage and close the door, and then you're like, I got you. You know?
Never been done, but number of times when I brought it in for repairs and stuff, mechanics have suggested that to me repeatedly.
So I have the sense of humor of a mechanic.
Yeah, there you go.
I hate myself. You can find everything at screamingfemales.com. We also have an Instagram. I think it's @official_screamels. I think. But no matter what we do, people will always be like, when are you coming to Dallas? And then I'll be like, we were there yesterday. So I don't know. Please just go to screamingfemales.com. It's all there.
And right now we just put out a new record. It's called Desire Pathway. It's our 8th album. And yeah, this tour's been going great, and people seem excited about that record. But if you haven't listened to it yet, give it a try.